Nice. Settle into your chairs, everyone. Just take the time to let your sit bones connect to the seat underneath you. Feeling the soles of the feet on the floor. Allowing the crown of your head to imagine, it's almost like you're imagining a puppet string is drawing it up to the ceiling, and you start to breathe and feel that puppet string, and it's like you just sit a little bit taller. And there's some long, slow inhales and exhales. Starting to let the breath just come in and out through your nose. Perhaps your eyes are closed. It's as if two things are happening at once. One is that your weight is really just settling down into your hips. And the second is that there's a lightness drawing out through the crown of your head. Like we're both sinking down, connecting to that earth energy beneath us, and feeling the lift, the rise upward. And as you breathe, just feeling the breath connect you to these two places. From the crown of your head right to the base of your pelvis. The breath just sliding up and down the center column of your body. The exhale drawing out just a little bit slower than usual. Feeling the inhale draw in a little bit longer and slower. Let's do that Kundalini series that we started last week as you allow your body to start to do big circles. Feel your nice long inhale and big exhale as you wrap your spine in circles. The pelvis can rock slightly on the chair underneath you. And allow yourself to change directions. I got a really creaky chair today. I keep trying different ones, but good. And when you bring yourself back to seated, slide your fingers to the ends of your knees and start to do your seated cat-cows, chin tucked to chest. Inhale, spine lifts to sky, chin lengthens, crown of the head extends. And then as you exhale, rolling your chin to chest, arching your back behind you. Make these breaths long and full. Squeezing all the breath out of your lungs as you curl in. And lengthening tall to let as much air as possible suction into your body. The lungs are our biggest detox organ, which is why movement becomes so important, why putting breath into our body becomes so important. Every time we work our lungs, we are detoxing the body. We are allowing the body to get rid of what it no longer needs, what it no longer wants. And let yourself come all the way up to seated. Roll the shoulders up to the ears and down the back a couple of times. Let's take the fingertips and put them on the shoulders. The breath starts to get a bit quicker now. We inhale to the left, exhale to the right. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Feel it coming in and out through your nose. Feel the shoulders and the upper back start to move. Maybe there's even like a little dance in the elbows happening as they swing forward and back. We get the spine moving in all the directions it is meant to move. If you like, you can start letting your chin follow the shoulder that's moving. Letting your head swing from right to left. You might need to close your eyes. You might need to do that a bit less. Perhaps it's too much. You decide. And then bring that back to center. Let's take the shoulders up to the ears, roll them back another 2 times. We'll go into our side bends, hands drop down beside you. Inhaling, hand up and over and sweep. Inhaling, hand up and over and sweep to the exhale. So the inhales are the lifting of the arm and the exhales slide you over into the side bend. Breathe in and breathe out. Maybe you're going to do 1 to each side. Maybe you go even slower. Feel the distance growing between your waist and your armpit, the movement through your shoulders as breath starts to trickle into all these corners. And pull yourself all the way back up. I like to feel sort of the tallness in through my rib cage after some of those moves. Roll the shoulders down the back. Let's take the elbows out to the side. Squeezing the shoulder blades towards the spine. And then taking a nice inhale, or maybe that's the inhale. Inhaling those hands back. You decide which way you're going to inhale and exhale. But what you're thinking of is the shoulder blades squeezing in towards the spine and the shoulder blades pulling away from the spine. The harder this feels in the neck and shoulders, the lower your elbows can drop. The easier this feels in the neck and shoulders, the higher the elbows can lift. So move where it feels right. Yeah. Sliding those shoulder blades on the back ribs. And then bringing the hands back to center. Let's drop the chin to your chest, sweeping the chin over to the right shoulder, dropping it down, sweeping it to the left, dropping it down. Find your inhale and your exhale here. Bring the chin to the chest, lift it all the way up. Let's take our right ear to the right shoulder. Take the left hand and stretch it down to the floor. And just feel that gentle stretch through the neck. Good. Release the neck back to center. Take the left ear to left shoulder and then reach that right hand down to the floor. Breathe. Always taking steady, slow breaths. Letting the breath come in and release the tightness that you feel. And release. Nice. Do what you can with your shoulders with this one. Your hands come up overhead. The shoulders tuck in beside the neck towards the ears. Perhaps even your hands clasp together and the palms go up. The hands might be out in front of you. You're bringing them up to the ceiling as it feels right. And then shrug the shoulders down. Shrug the shoulders down. Third time. Now the hands can sweep open. Shoulders roll down the back. Shrug and drop. Shrug and drop. Shrug and drop. So the drop is really heavy. You can let your breath sort of get a little bit worked up. There's a big inhale. And then the exhale is just a forceful breath out. Two more. Nice. Good. So the arms open nice and wide now. Let's take the right hand over the left. We'll slide the left arm underneath and start to pull that shoulder into a nice stretch. Strong, slow breathing now. Feeling what's going on in those shoulders. Nice work. Arms open wide. Left crosses over right and the right sweeps underneath to pull it in. Feel the shoulder on the left side. Nice. And release. Roll those shoulders up and drop them down your back. Always finding that spot. Good. Fingers slide to the ends of the knees. Couple of cat-cows. And then come back up. Your arms can open wide one more time. Let's take the fingers back behind us. Pull the shoulder blades together. Reach the hands back. And then as you cross the hands, let's put right underneath left. Hands can come to shoulders. If it's all feeling okay in your body, perhaps the palms reach up to find each other. Or they land on shoulders. Now drop those shoulders down your back. You're either lifting elbows up and down with hands resting on shoulders, or you're bringing these hands up in front of you, sliding the elbows and the palms up and down. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Nice. And release and open. Let's take the right thumb out beside us and drop it down to the floor and see if that right thumb will slide back behind your back. Maybe even your left hand can grab those fingers and pull them gently, or you can clasp your hands, pull them gently. Pulling that hand back behind you, opening up the front shoulder. My hands are just sort of hanging onto each other. They might or they might not touch behind you. Open to the other side. The left thumb points down and sweeps behind the back. You bring it as far as you can. Perhaps you're just going to pull that wrist a little bit more. Maybe hands clasp. Feel that opening. Yeah. Good work. And release. 3 more shoulder shrugs. Shoulders being drawn down the back as they drop down. Good. Hands come out to your side. Just start waving the wrists. Maybe you're going to do wrist circles. Whichever direction you're going, let yourself change directions. Lovely. Nice. Hands slide back to the ends of the knees. And your feet can slide in underneath the knees. Lean forward. Feel all your weight sink into the feet. Feel all your weight Lean over your legs so the legs feel like they have to get strong. They have to get prepared to lift you. Push into the soles of the feet and see if you can hover your bum over your chair. And then just start to straighten the legs, start to lengthen the back. Breathe there. Then with buoyant knees, a little knee bend, you can bring your hands all the way up to the sky and drop down to your heart. Do a couple of breaths there. Inhaling, the hands come all the way up to the sky. Exhale, they drop to your heart center. Breathe in, big full movement. Breathe out, bringing them to your heart. Big full movement. Exhaling them to your heart. All right, let's go the other way. So now the hands are going to stretch all the way up to the ceiling, and it's like they press through water as they come back down again. This is almost like the breaststroke if you were swimming. Sweet, sweet work. As I stand behind the chair, we'll try and do some heel lifts. So you'll just start to see how that feels through the soles of the feet to let the heels rise up off the floor, coming to the ball of the foot and the toes. Come back down again. Find an inhale and an exhale for your lift and your lower. Yeah. Heels come back down onto the ground. Let's put the back toes. I'm taking my right foot behind me. The toenail side of the foot is pressing into the floor gently. And you're just letting your breath still move. Even when you get to a pose that makes you want to hold your breath, you're just noticing if you can be in that pose and not hold your breath. Recognize that there's work and that you can still breathe. Uncurl those toes. Take the opposite foot back behind you, letting the toenail side of the foot rest on the floor. That could be enough. If you want any more, you can have a tiny lean back, and that just puts more weight into the stretch. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. And then bring that foot up. Hands are on the back of the chair. Press yourself into that pike pose. Let your knees bend deeply so that your bum can push back behind you. Feel the stretch that it creates. Sometimes it's in your back body as your head tries to drop down between the elbows. Sometimes it's in your front body. You feel the stretch through your armpits and side. Good. And then walk the feet back up to the back of the chair. Step back with your right foot. Push the heel down into the floor and let the left knee bend. Breathe here, lifting the crown of the head to the sky, reaching into that back heel. Stretch the front knee forward. Just keep reaching it. Notice how it stretches the back leg. Breathe. And then let your whole torso start to lean forward. Maybe even the forearms come to the back of the chair. Imagine the back of your head, shoulders, hips, heel, all in a long straight line. Good. And then press your spine back up and straighten the front leg. This time as you fold forward, the whole pelvis tilts. You're not keeping it in line with that back leg. You're just letting the tailbone lift to the sky. Breathe into the stretches you're creating in your legs. Inhale and bring yourself all the way up. That move where we bend our back knee and lift our front toes, sinking the bum backwards, hanging onto your chair. Can't hang on very much though, because you'll pull the chair backwards with you, so be careful. Come back up and buoyant knees, back foot steps forward. Good job. Let's step back with the left leg, bend the front knee. Take some time finding this pose. As you push into the back heel and you draw your front knee forward, feel the crown of the head still stretching to the sky and the shoulders still dropped and relaxed down the back. Breathe here. And then slowly slide your chest forward over top of that front thigh. The back body as if there was a board resting on it. Back of the skull, shoulders, hips, heel all connected to that imaginary board. Breathe. Nice work. Press into the soles of your feet to bring yourself back up and straighten the front leg. This time you're really picturing the bowl of your pelvis tilting, the tailbone lifting, the sit bones rising. Fold yourself forward. Feeling the stretch and release happening in the front leg, keeping your breath steady and smooth. Firm press into your feet as you let yourself rise up. Feet get buoyant. Back foot steps forward. Nice work. This time as we step back, I'm going to move my chair. Take your right foot way back behind you. It's a bigger step and your hips will open. So your right toes are pointing out, left toe is still pointing towards the chair, left fingers on the chair, and then bend that front knee. Good. Warrior two is a pose for the lateral sides of the body. So let those arms open. Front hand can always stay on the chair. Breathe. The back foot can take as wide of a stance as it feels comfortable. Pressing into the pinky toe side of your back foot, reaching forward through the front knee. Beautiful. And then take that top hand and reach it up and overhead. Stretching through the fingers. Same idea where if we placed a board on your side body, it would look like a long straight line. Or we can imagine back. And then slide that back hand down the back leg. If you want, the front fingers can lift off the chair. Otherwise, you just let that slide happen. Sliding the back fingers down that back leg. Beautiful. Let's come back to warrior two. We'll do each one again, feeling the strength build in that front leg. Beautiful. Stretch through the fingers, push through the back heel. Lengthen the whole side body. Open back to warrior two. Slide those fingers down the back leg. Feel the front side body. Have a little bend in it, a little side bend. Breathe. Now you've got lots of work happening in those legs, so let's come out and straighten that front leg. Good. Buoyant knees. Back foot steps forward again. Sweet. And now you step back with your left foot. Right toes point to the chair, right hand on the chair. Bend the front knee. Good. Hang out as you start to let the hips drop a little lower, just noticing how that feels in your body. Those warrior two hips are hard. Okay, every time you need a little break in this pose, you just straighten the front leg a little bit. There's your warrior two. Here's your extended side angle. Stretch, stretch, stretch through that top hand. Breathe. And then come back, sliding the hand down the back leg, perhaps lifting that top arm. Maybe it stays on the chair. Beautiful. Back to warrior two, your version. Extended side angle. Nice. Keep your breath moving. Enjoy. Back. Fingers slide down the back leg. Open up that front side body. Drop the shoulders. Reach those back fingers. Back to warrior two. And straighten the leg. Beautiful. Gentle bend into those feet. Step that back leg to the front again. So standing behind your chair, Take your right leg and just start to reach it back behind you. See if you can keep the whole body tall as you practice swinging that right leg back behind you. The pelvis might tilt a little bit, but other than that, the spine stays tall. Good. Put the right foot down, settle it in. Do the reaches with the left heel, stretching it back behind you, swinging it as far as it'll go. Gorgeous. 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 Nice work. Okay, so our twist pose from here, I'm going to let you choose. You can stay with your hands on the chair here, and then you'll practice lifting one hand and moving. If it feels like you could fold further forward, then you can put the hands here. So you're either going to stay a bit more upright, hands to the back of the chair, or fold here, hands to the seat. And then that, for me right now, it's my left hand dropped. Doesn't matter as long as you do both. Lifts to shoulder height, and then I open my chest. Back to shoulder height, chest closed, arm down. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. And now one more. We'll go to the other side. Dropping that hand. Beautiful. So right hand down below me, comes up to the side, and I lift. And away from the wall. Beautiful. Nice spinal twist happening there. Opening up. You're also, if you're putting your hands on the chair, you're getting that action in through the wrist. Beautiful. We're building a bit of strength up there. Nice. And your hands come down. Palms to the seat of the chair. Just let yourself stretch back. It doesn't matter if you are hands to the back, the top of the chair, or the seat. Same kind of stretch. Maybe even your knees bend and you let yourself go a little bit further. Breathe. Walking yourself all the way back up to that chair, knees bent, hands come to sky, dropping them down to your heart. Good. Hands come to sky, dropping them down to your heart. Let's play with a bit of a balance pose here. We're going to find our tree wherever your chair feels comfortable. One hand on the chair. So find one foot to anchor you into the floor and start to let the opposite foot feel nice and light. The heel can lift up off the floor and the knee starts to rise. Keep your shoulders and neck soft. Perhaps you'll even lift up off the toe and that knee can open to the side. Sometimes it just feels nice to let the toe slide open. And then tuck that toe into the arch of the foot. Some of you might find that you can lift the toe onto the side of the leg, bringing it up as high as it feels comfortable. Stand really tall, so watch that that hip doesn't sort of collapse outward. Pull it nice and tall. Press this foot into the calf, the ankle, or the arch. And then choose. Do your hands feel like they need the chair? Always give yourself as much extra support as your breath needs. So as soon as your breath gets sticky and tight, just release it by putting strength into the chair. If it feels okay, you can come to a different spot. Good. Pick what feels good for you. You might even be here or here. Hands to heart. Good. Okay, bring that knee forward, set it down. You might need to just sway your hips side to side for a moment. I'm going to keep my same hand on the chair. You guys decide what you need to do. My opposite foot grounds down, and then the grounded foot, in the last one, becomes the light foot here. So the heel starts to peel off the mat. I come onto my tippy toes, I swing the knee open, Perhaps you just tuck the toe into the arch of the foot. Maybe it lifts to calf, to ankle. Keep this hip from collapsing out to the side. Lift it in, lift it tall. Feel a string pulling through the crown of your head. Roll your shoulders down your back. Decide how much of the chair you need. Breathe in tree. Good work. Hands release down, foot releases down. And then take your feet to that hip width apart stance. I like to put my hands right on where the hip bone joins the leg bone, and then feel that stretch side to side as the hips go right and left. Feel the stretches in those muscles under my fingertips. Once you go side to side a few times, then allow yourself to do beautiful. Right. Am I back? I think I froze there for a minute, so I'm hoping that I'm back again. Okay, let's go to chair pose. So your fingers are on the chair, your feet are on the ground. You're going to slide your back down an imaginary wall, let the knees bend. Press into the soles of your feet, come back up again. Slide down. Feel the strength in your legs build. Breathe. Press into the soles of the feet to lift back up. Slide down. Nice. So you've got some options here. You can slide and lift, as I'm demonstrating now. If you want to play around with staying in the pose and even lifting those hands up in front of you, it's far more work, far more effort. You'll know, your thighs will tell you what your answer is, so listen to them. They will tell you if you are going to lift in and out of the pose or hold it. And if you hold it, just remember to come out whenever your legs need a little break. Breathe. Breathe. Nice. And those hands come back down. Sweet work. Hands are on the back of the chair. Let yourself press back. And then allowing yourself to come back up. Okay. As we go down to the floor today, find your 2 blankets, perhaps, so that you have props underneath your head and your back. I'm going to put them there for now because my first move is going to be on my hands and knees. So you're thinking about what you might want to get down to the floor so that hands and knees feels okay. Maybe you want your chair close by so you can use it to come down. I want my knees on a blanket. Perhaps you want your wrists on a blanket. If your hands want to be flat on the floor and they feel okay there, that's good. If the wrists feel kind of exposed or hurting there, then put your wrists on the edge of the blanket, pressing your fingertips down into the floor. This is a lot of work for the arms, shoulders, wrists. It's a lot of work for the knees. So if this doesn't work for you, you can do seated in the chair or cat-cow. Head drops, tailbone drops, ripple the spine from one end to the other. Feel how your breath can move through each and every vertebrae. And then release. I want you to do big circles with your torso, rolling the barrel of your chest as if it is the barrel of a cement truck. Big round circles. Change directions. Okay. So for the next movement, we're going to lie sideways on the floor. I'm going to lie on my right side first because it means that I can face you. One of my blankets is going to go big so that it can support my head. You're deciding if your other blanket comes underneath your rib cage, so your arm kind of slides into a little hole that you make, or if your extra blanket goes underneath your hip, if the hip feels like it's on the floor, bit too hard. Knees bend, ankles stay connected. Let's take both arms straight out in front of us. The first move lifts the hand to the sky on an inhale, and you exhale, opening the arm back behind you. Inhale up to ceiling. Exhale, close the hand. So it's 2 full breaths. Inhale, hand to sky. Exhale, let it fall back behind you. Inhale, hand to sky. Exhale, palms on palms. Feel this beautiful big breath. Now, if your top shoulder has any kind of immobility in it today, you might find that you're just going to put your hand on your heart and roll the rib cage open and closed. So do what's best for your body. That's the modification if that top arm doesn't want to sweep through the sky like that. Breathe. Full breath in and out. Full breath in and out. Good. Hands come down. You're going to bring your awareness to your legs now. What I want you to think of is that the ankles are going to stay connected and that top thigh lifts. We're going back to Suzanne Summers exercises. You're thinking of the pelvis staying really still. The spine's not moving. There's none of that torso twist. This is just a lift of the thigh. It might not lift very high, but that's okay. We're targeting really specific muscles. If you're feeling sort of the flank get really tired, you're doing a good job. Good. And then leave that leg, let it drop. I'm going to move down so the chair's not going to be in my way for the next one. The next one, your hand is going to do like an arc over your head, but instead of going up to the sky, it stays along the floor. It traces along the floor and opens back behind you and then closes. So just notice that there's a new movement in the arm. As soon as you hit that back sticky area, you use that as a place to turn around. Feel your breath come in and out. The inhale can take you back to that sticky place. As soon as you hold your breath, as soon as you find your arm doesn't want to go further, turn it around. Bring the palm back to the bottom palm. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Beautiful. And palms come back together. Sweet. Let's bend the elbows in. Stretch that top leg out to the end of your mat. And all I want you to do are these tiny poses where the toe touches and lifts, the heel touches and lifts. The toe touches, the heel touches. The toe touches, the heel touches. toe, heel. We'll do it 2 more times. And release. Knee slides back up again. Good. So in your house, you might be able to just roll over onto your back. Spend a second there, just getting yourself oriented, or perhaps you're feeling the difference between the top side of your body that did all the movement, the bottom side of your body that was on the ground. I'm going to face the other way so that you can still see me. You're coming over onto the opposite. For me, it's my left. Take your time. We'll do those same 4 movements on this side. So palm on palm. Inhaling, hand to sky. Exhaling for that nice shoulder opener. Good. Palm comes down again. Remember that it's a full breath in and a full breath out. A full breath in and a full breath out. 2 breaths to finish the pose. When that hand starts to fall back, it's really about the rib cage turning towards the sky. See if you can get as much rib cage rotation. It's not just the arm falling behind you, it's the whole chest opening to the sky. Sometimes you'll get some nice little chiropractic adjustments in this one. That's just bonus. All right. As you finish up this last one, palm can land on palm. Find stillness in your arms. Bring your awareness to that hip and top leg. Ankles stay connected as you start doing those clamshell poses. Lifting top thigh and lowering. Breathing in and breathing out. If your hand is on your pelvis, the pelvis feels like it's very still. The muscles of your bum and this top leg are definitely working. The thigh bone is rising and lowering. It doesn't take long to feel some burn in this one. So as soon as your body tells you that you're done, just respect that. I think I only got 1 more. And then bring it down. Good. Nice. So now your hands come up in front of you again and you slide the fingers along the floor. At some point they leave the mat and you come into that sticky back shoulder area and then turn around. So just breathe, opening into the shoulder, into the chest. Allowing yourself to sweep those fingers backwards. They slide along the floor until they can't. And then they leave the mat, open into the sky, push back into that sticky tight area. They return back to the original spot as soon as it gets too tight. Breathe. Breathe. Good. All right, and release that. Hands can come in, top leg stretches out behind you. The toes and heels hover, and you just touch toes, lift, touch heels, lift. Big work in the rotation of the leg as you play with this pose. Notice if you can tell which leg was harder. Sometimes if the hips hurt on the floor, this pose can be hard, so just be gentle with yourself. Good. Last one. And release. Sweet. So As you come to your next pose, you are going to come onto your back, but I wanted to give you some options. So some of you will come onto the back and you'll bring your heels and calves onto a chair in that pose. And some of you will kind of in the similar stance, you'll slide your bum close to a wall and then let the heels lift up onto that wall space. So if heels are on a wall or on the back of a piece of furniture or on the seat, you can just play there. Don't let your bum slide all the way up to the wall. Don't let your bum slide too close. Keep the tailbone rested on the floor. And then I want you to take the arms out into a nice wide open stance. Again, if it's not possible for one shoulder, the other, that hand can just cross the body. Just see if you can bring into this pose a steady, unrestricted breath. For so many of us, a back bend is actually happening here as we lie flat. Our lifestyles are conditioned to sort of have us rounding forward. Steering wheels and kitchen sinks and computers, all the different chores and hobbies we have this rounded forward stance, posture. And so even lying flat, even opening your arms up flat onto the floor is an expansion, is an extension of our spine. Please keep enough pillow under your head that your forehead and chin are aligned. One isn't popping up higher than the other to the ceiling. In either pose, we're doing some good blood pressure regulation as our feet are lifted higher than our heart. Keep your breath moving slowly. Sometimes your toes start to fall asleep in the air. Might need to wiggle them a bit. Okay, so whichever pose you're in now, just draw your right knee in towards your chest. Give it a squeeze and a release, and a squeeze and a release. Feel that moving in your body. Heel stretches up. You come to the other side. Same thing here. Nice squeezes and releases on the left. Perhaps both knees come into chest and you just hang on to them as you roll your back on the floor. Whichever direction you're going, make sure you change directions and let yourself roll the opposite way as well. Good. So in your own time, bringing yourself back up to seated Rolling over to one side is usually the best way to get up, pressing into that top hand. Getting both hands underneath you. Coming right up to sit or to your chair. Thanks so much for joining me today, everyone. Namaste.